Knows Best.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Brenna Knows Best. I'm your host, Brenna Berg. Hi, how are you guys? Happy Friday. I'm filming in my brand new podcast room, and Carter is literally downstairs, and I feel like he can definitely still hear me. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the second time I've filmed in here. The first time, it's this coming Monday's podcast. I filmed that one prior because it doesn't need to be current. I put this little towel in the door or underneath the door, but Carter was out in the gym working out for the most part. And like, once I get into the episode, I don't think about it as much, which I don't know why I care at all. But like, imagine that you're just straight yapping for an hour and your partner's just like listening to you. And he has better things to do. He wouldn't just sit there and listen, but it's still like, especially because like I never film content in general in front of him, but I'm in my room and I have a chair. I finally got a podcast chair. I'm crossing my legs. It's this big, you obviously saw it on my Instagram story. It's this big green velvet chair from Living Spaces. And actually, which this was so stupid of us, I went shopping again on Saturday morning, or maybe, I think it must have been Saturday, because I went right away at like 10 a.m. What the fuck was Carter doing? I have no idea. I have literally no idea. But I went to Living Spaces first because Nebraska Furniture Mart didn't open until 11. I was like, let me just go up there. I also wanted to run into IKEA and look at a vanity, which that pissed me off so bad. I get stuck in there every time and I don't know how to get out, and it was so not worth my time. But I guess I needed to go in there anyway. That way I waited until 11 until Nebraska Furniture Mart opened. But I went out. I was kind of looking for a few things. I still want accent chairs for the living room. I still need other rugs. I need a rug in here. It's so echoey. I realized that it doesn't get brought up. It doesn't get caught up. It doesn't get noticed in the microphone. Like when I filmed Monday's podcast, I don't know the word I'm trying to say. Okay. I'm not sure what I was trying to say, but it doesn't echo in the microphone. Therefore, I feel better about it now. But when I was filming the other day, I'm like, oh, it's so echoey in here because there's nothing. I have my camera, I have the light, I have my chair, and I'm just crisscross applesauce, nothing else. I need a rug in here. I need a rug in like so many places. I think I want a rug in our closet, which I just hate, like the bare floor, the wood floor. But anywho, I need a vanity. I needed a podcast chair. I was kind of just like looking for a bunch of things. Oh, I really also want/need side tables for the couch. We have the one that was in the apartment, but it's taller than the couch and it looks weird. And I'm not sure, like, for example, nightstands. Like, are nightstands supposed to be lower than the bed? Like, shorter? I don't think they're supposed to be taller, right? I don't really know. I've been looking into a lot of like interior design. And again, to most people, like this is such a stupid thing to even think about. Who gives a shit? They can be whatever size. But I really am trying to hone in on my interior design skills. But anywho, I go to Living Spaces and I come across this chair that I'm sitting in, and I recognized it because when I looked up accent chairs, I was looking up like dark green accent chairs. This was the first thing to pop up, and it's from Living Spaces. But when I saw it online, I was like, I love that, but I immediately assumed that it was small because it's an accent chair, right? And I originally and am still thinking that I want swivel chairs, but this is a big square boxy chair, sofa. It's a singular chair. They also have it in a sofa, but I walk into Living Spaces. I might have moseyed around. I kind of was looking. There were a few that I already had my eye on from before that I noted at the time could work for a podcast chair. But then I come around and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the chair that I saw online, but it was way bigger than I thought. Like, because I had seen it online and it said accent chair, I thought it was tiny. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, I like really like that. And that could work for a podcast chair. Like, I didn't even think that. And then I sat in it and I'm like, it's perfect because If you remember when we were looking at couches, there's the Zone couch at Living Spaces, and it is a cloud couch dupe. It's so cloudy, like you just fall into it, and it comes in a singular chair. And this is one of the chairs that I wanted to look at for the podcast, but I went there first this weekend when I went into Living Spaces, and I sat in it and I'm like, it's so comfy. I love it. But for the podcast, I'm like, I still need to be kind of like upright. Like I want to be comfy, but I also want it to have a little bit of structure. And therefore I came across this chair and I sat down and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's comfy, but I can sit in it with my legs down. I can cross my legs. I could scooch back and I have a back, right? I'm hoping my intent was to not be still holding this microphone. I think that I want to get a stand. I have the arm. If you remember, I guess most of you don't watch, just going off of the numbers, but for those who do watch, way back in the day, I used to sit just like on my little square ottoman, just like upright, that had no back, in our bedroom, but I got an arm for the microphone. However, the end of the arm, it doesn't stand up. It attaches to something. You have to like wind this thing and it closes down like a clamp. And therefore I put it on the desk. And I still have that, but I don't know what I would clamp it to because obviously I have nothing in this room. I also am going to need a little side table because I have my coffee here and it's resting on the arm of the chair, and that's just a dangerous, I need to not do that, but I can't put it anywhere. I don't have a table. I need a little side table. There are so many things. Let's jump back to Thursday. Thursday last week, we had the security team come in, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but where we live, the homes were built with 2 cameras, one in the front, one in the back, and then it's not a Ring, but essentially a Ring doorbell, you know, the doorbells that have the camera. And not to bring up the same shit I always talk about, but the family that I nannied for, I was saying last week how there's a lot of similarities with setting up the utilities, but they had, number one, the same app for the alarm system, and it's not a Ring. Theirs was a Ring, but it's essentially the same thing. And actually, it's better. There's an app that we use for the security system. Therefore, it's not just the cameras. We also have a security system that we got set up that we put the code in every night and we arm it, and obviously an alarm will go off if somebody breaks in, and then I disarm it every morning. So this happened on Thursday. The guy came, he had to do some stuff up at the security box. He set up our cameras. He helped us set up the app. So we have one app where you can go on the app, and it's the same exact app that I used with the nanny fam. And the reason I'm so familiar is because every single morning when I got to the nanny fam's house, I was the one who disarmed the code, the security thing. I just go into the app and would hit disarm. It was really easy, but as I would walk up to the door, I would do that. That way I didn't set off the alarm. Hello, duh. But it's the same exact app, but also in our app is like the doorbell thing, and it detects people. Therefore I need to quit saying therefore. I don't even think I'm using it correctly, Brenna. Like, what are you even saying? Anywho, we get a notification every time the camera, not the front and the back. The front and the back, it's like a live feed, and I think it holds on for like 3 weeks, but that's just like constantly going. It has the backyard and the front yard. But the Ring doorbell, I'm calling it a Ring. It's not a Ring. You guys are not stupid. You're following. It gives us a notification every time it's like the USPS, a delivery, or our neighbor's door is on this side as well, one of our neighbors, and it picks up them, but there's not really much you can do about it. I will say, if you are unfamiliar with Ring doorbells and the camera doorbell system, I thought this was really cool, and I guess I just had never been exposed to it. But for example, at the nanny fam's house, the camera is attached to the front of their house, obviously. Well, it picks up any movement, and that will send an alarm, not an alarm, but like a little notification like, hey, somebody's there, or like if it just catches movement, right, of something. Well, obviously theirs and I guess ours too, but like ours is like a little bit not as direct. Theirs shot right onto the road. Therefore, anytime a car drove past, the thing would go off. And this happened like the first day we set it up, and we were like, what the fuck? Like, we have to figure out how to get this off. Like every single time. And they're not on a busy road by any means, but it's like, that's not the reason. We just want to know a package or a friend or obviously an intruder. Right? Well, this system, all of them, ours has it too. You go on, and the guy did it for me, but it shows what the camera is seeing. And then similar to, and if you're a Zillow freak like me, you'll be like, oh, I totally get this. Like whenever you're on a map and you can move like the little sides, you can pull in the little dots and then it'll change the area. If you've ever used a software like that, I guess I used when I was a realtor and I would look up areas for people, I often used the map tool and I would just draw, and then you can kind of adjust it. Well, it was like that, and you just move the little grid. That way it's just around like whether it's your front sidewalk, and then you can cut off the road. That way that's not a part of what it picks up. And I asked the guy immediately, I'm like, our neighbors have a flag, and I was like, this thing is going to move. It's constantly moving because it's windy or the wind catches it. I'm like, I don't want this thing to go off every time. He's like, I got it. And he did the little grid for us. But that's been amazing. Carter feels great about the security system. We set up our little code. I love knowing when I get a package, because oftentimes with this job, I don't know when I'm getting a package, when I get PR, which is like, oh, when I get PR, how cool, whatever. I don't know when it's coming, and I can't see. We don't have it. I don't need to talk about the layout of our home, but I can't see if somebody's coming. And I'm glad now that I'm able to see, because especially now it's cooled off, but we had so much stuff coming, the chair delivery, all of this random shit that we're ordering to organize, and because we just moved, obviously, but that's really nice. And I love creeping. Oh, that leads me to Friday. I don't think anything happened. Carter has been obviously not really working. He's still technically working until today. Today is his official last day because he put in his 2 weeks, not this Monday, but last Monday. But they're not giving him work, obviously. I mean, they know he's leaving. Therefore, he's kind of just like offboarding. I know you don't really call it that, but he's been so not busy. And that means Friday, I think we kind of just lounged around and didn't do much and watched something on the TV. I'm not sure. Saturday, I wake up. Why didn't Carter? We went on a walk. I took him into one of my favorite neighborhoods right by us, and we went on a walk. And then I think I said, I'm going to go to the store. Maybe he just didn't want to come with, or I didn't want him to come with, because honestly, I'm very self-aware. I know I'm terrible to shop with. We literally went to the mall today and it was a nightmare. It's because everybody wants me to buy things. I used to do this with Nanny Girl. Like, we would go to the mall and she's like, Brenna, it's not fun to shop with you because you don't actually buy anything. And I'm like, I understand, but it's an illness. It's like a mental illness that I have. I literally... Oh my gosh, this was the fight today with Carter. We go to Nordstrom. I'm looking at the girl stuff. He's looking at the guy stuff for our trip this weekend. And I don't find anything that was worthy of my time or that I wanted to buy, because I can't. I just like have such a hard time buying. I go downstairs. He's trying on a bunch of stuff. He found a bunch of stuff, and $400 later, I'm like, what the fuck? And he does it without batting an eye. Like, I didn't think that these items would add up to $400. It wasn't quite that much, but I'm like, how do you just like do that so casually? And I'm annoyed because I have like all of these numbers going around in my head, and like I have a way of life that I live, and I'm just not used to that. And then I got like kind of pissy, and I'm also on my period, and I was mean, and he was like, I'll return them. And I'm like, no, don't return them. And I understand that I'm insane. I can't help it. Like, I tell Carter, I'm like, he always validates me. He's always like, no, you're right. I don't need these. I'm like, no, that's not good. I'm unhealthy, and do not validate me, but we need to find a common ground. Anywho, I go to the furniture store. And then I get back and Carter's friend, the one that he works with at his no longer firm, right? That guy, the couple that we always see, his girlfriend was out of town on a girls trip and he was just by him lonesome. His lonesome. And he asked to go to a movie, I think on Friday night, but it didn't pan out. But they made plans on Saturday. They went to the range. And then this was at like the afternoon. I was like, I'm going to go on a walk. There's a few stores by us, like little boutiques and such that I wanted to go check out. And his friend was on the way. I'm like, can I just leave? And I leave. I head out on my walk because I wasn't sure if he was taking the car. And honestly, I wanted to get out and walk. And his friend came and then they left. Well, I ended up shopping around. There is this store and I'm not going to say what it is, but it is kind of bougie. And when I say kind of, I mean entirely bougie, but they were having a sale. And I said, they had the clothes on the sidewalk. I said, let me check this out. I ended up being there for so long. This is the other part of my shopping process because I can never get myself to pull the trigger. I sit there and think and think and think and think. I found two things on the sales rack. I found a jacket that actually was perfect for fall. And then I found this t-shirt, which is one of my favorite brands that I don't own. It's like a high-end brand that I have not pulled the trigger on because the full price is a little egregious, but this top was on sale. But I grabbed a few things. I went into the store. Not everything was on sale. I grabbed some things that weren't on sale. And then I went out to the sales rack and found these two items and maybe other things. I go into the fitting room. Oh my gosh. This was like the Highland Park moms and their daughters day. It was like mommy daughter day. I'm in the changing room. I'm trying things on and I'm hearing one girl who just got engaged and her mom and her are shopping and she's getting everything white and they're having their wedding in Colorado at the Montage and like this and that. And I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? Then on the other side of me, there's like a girl, I'm guessing she was in college. She was talking about formal, but aren't there like frat formals? She was with her mom as well. And the mom was, I mean, they're buying them all of this stuff, which this is something that me and Carter were talking about. I went to Home Goods the other week. I've been running in and out of Home Goods, not really finding anything. And I was behind a mom and a daughter, and the daughter must have just moved because they were buying so much shit. And the mom was obviously buying it for her. And I'm like, this is like a experience that I feel like a decent amount of people have. Like they move and their parents come, or they live in the same town as their parents and the parents take them out to buy them a few things for their apartment or their home. I've never done that. I've never had my parents, or like groceries, right? Which again, I feel like sometimes I like try and act like a charity case, but it's just so like eye-opening to me, like when I'm sitting there and just like that relationship with moms, like because it's always the mom. Like I've never been shopping with my mom. Well, I don't like to shop. My mom doesn't like to shop, but we just don't have that relationship either. And I'm like, like I wonder what that's like. Oh, because I might have mentioned this last week when we went and did the game night with his friend and his girlfriend. We went to his girlfriend's house, who I love her, and she grew up pretty well off, right? And I love that for her. I'm so happy for her. But her apartment was insane. Like it literally was so put together. The rug, the couch, like amazing. And of course, that's what happens when you have money. But she's like, yeah, like a lot of this I've collected. You know, my mom comes and when I move, we'll grab a few pieces and then this and that and like hand-me-downs. But it's like all nice furniture. I'm like, wow, I wonder what that life is like. I'm like, I never had that this is why I don't have any furniture, because also I buy it myself and I buy the cheapest stuff, which I'm trying not to do. I'm not sure how we got here. Anywho, I am in the fitting room and I'm listening to these ladies and their daughters and I'm just like, what? Oh, this girl, she's like, do you think Kyle will ask me out to formal in this dress? I'm like, what the fuck? Fucking frat Kyle? No. He doesn't care if your dress is from this bougie place. No offense, but those were just my thoughts. I didn't say that, but I was just listening. And Anywho, I tried on this stuff, and the two things that I really liked were, it was like a cropped jacket. And actually, after the fact, I realized that it was reversible, but it was like a suede on one side and like kind of a teddy on the other. Like a, what do you call that? I know it's spelled Boucle, buccal, like the material of my ottomans, like the teddy sort of material, if you catch my drift. It was reversible, but it was like cropped and it was lightweight and it was like a sand color. It was so cute and it was a major on sale. And then I also really liked this t-shirt from the brand that I really love, that I don't own anything by them. I think maybe Nanny Mom has a piece that I really liked, but I've always had an eye on their dresses. They are in Neiman Marcus, if that tells you anything, but I think I'll splurge at some point. But it was a t-shirt that it's muted spring colors. It's like purple and blue, but like really muted. It's almost like a tan. I think the base of it is tan. It's cropped. You button it, but it's so structured because it is good quality. It's an expensive shirt. It's like 100% cotton, but it's like really thick and very structured. It was like the perfect crop, but I'm like, what am I wearing this with? And then I think to myself, do I want this because it's on sale, or do I actually want this? And I talked myself out of it, but I ended up being at the store for like, I think probably over an hour. I went back, I picked out a few things, basically just to retry on the two pieces I already tried on, to really like, Brenna, do you need these? And then I put them back. And it is what it is. I'm like, you don't need these. They're just on sale and they're nice brands, and that's why you think you want them. And I put them back. Well, there is also, I'm not going to say the name, but there's a few other stores. I stopped into like a furniture store. I stopped into another big retailer. And then I was about to walk home. No, I actually think I was in the fitting room the second time at the one store. And Carter called me and he's like, okay, we're heading home from the range. I want to take him to this dinky little restaurant that we love that's right by our new place. He was like, do you want to meet us over there? Like, we can come pick you up at home. And I was like, well, actually, babe, I'm still out. Like, I was still on my walk / shopping. And I'm like, I can just meet you guys over there, because it sounded like we were going to get there at the same time. And I'm like, I can put in an order, or I can just at least like grab a table, whatever. Well, I get there like a hair before them. They pulled in shortly after. I walk on over, we meet, I say hello, we sit down and we eat, and then we all come back. I obviously jumped in the car. They didn't make me walk home. And they had a movie. They obviously invited me. Well, they invited me to everything. But I'm like, no, you guys go. I love alone time. You have like a little boys. I don't want to be the third wheel. They got movie tickets to a scary movie. And it wasn't until like 6:30, and I think we got home at like 4:30, and we were scrolling on the TV. Carter had already given him a tour when he first came, and he loved the place. They're going to be moving in together, and they're moving in October, and they've been doing the same thing that we were just doing, looking at townhomes. Like, they really want a certain area, and like the bickering of like what is important and what's not. But anywho, we turn on Wednesday, and I don't think I've ever talked about the show Wednesday on here. If you have not watched it, it's honestly so good. And I'm not like the perfect person to give a critique of a show because I don't really watch anything, but I watched Wednesday with Nanny Girl, and it's not a kid's show. It's based off of the Addams Family, which I don't even know anything about the Addams Family, or like I watched the originals. I don't really like understand the lore, and I never saw anything from before. Therefore, I don't know how the characters play into that, but it's like I don't know even if it's a spinoff. It has something to do. It's the Addams Family, but maybe it's the same characters. Maybe it's the kids and they're old now. I don't know, but it's that girl. Oh, what's her name? She pretty much blew up. I think this came out 2 years ago because it was that Halloween. And honestly, it's perfect for fall time because it's kind of like spooky. I think that's like the Addams Family thing. They all kind of wear black. Again, I don't really know. Wednesday. Jenna Ortega, if you know who that is, phenomenal. Honestly, they're all amazing and the production is wonderful. I forgot how much I liked it. Nanny Dad loved it. This was like the third time Nanny Girl had watched it, but it was one day when maybe I stayed over way back in the day, like a year or two ago, and we watched like episode after episode after episode, and I loved it. And season 2 just came out, and that's why it popped up, and the boys hadn't seen it. And I'm like, I don't know if you'll like it, because like I watched it with Nanny Girl and she's 11, but from what I remember, I really liked it. Well, we turned it on and they loved it, especially Carter's friend. He was like, this is so good. And I think he had watched The Addams Family, but we sat there, we made it through maybe one episode, and me and Carter have kind of been keeping it going. And now that I want to watch it through and then start the second season. Maybe I should download that for the flight. You know what I also really want to watch, and only because I read the books, We Were Liars. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I read We Were Liars, and it's the family of liars. I think it's a prequel, but it came out second. I've heard or seen on TikTok people bawling their eyes out watching We Were Liars, because it is, now I'm not so sure. It was an odd book. It like literally wasn't even my favorite book. And that's why I'm like, Brenna, why do you even want to watch it? But now I've seen so much on TikTok that I'm like, people are really enjoying it. I think I just need to watch it. And I was thinking about downloading it for the flights there and back. I don't know how many episodes it is. Wait, actually, let me look that up while we're on the phone. We Were Liars show. 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. Episode guide. Holy, 8 episodes? Okay, well, that's kind of a lot. I don't know if I can do that. I'm just not a show movie person. That's just a lot to get into, right? Anywho, we watched one episode of Wednesday, and then they left and went to their little movie, and I got into bed and I started looking up those 2 items that I put back on the sales rack at the store from earlier. The top in specific, the t-shirt, I'm like, oh, I really liked that. And it was like mega on sale. But I go online to look it up and I cannot find it anywhere. Like, I was trying to find somebody on TikTok or Instagram that wore it. That way I could see it on somebody and how they styled it. But at this point, it was on the sales rack. Everything's final sale. The place was bumping, right? I'm like, it's not even going to be there. Even if I wanted to go back tomorrow, it's not going to be there. But then I became obsessed with it and I found it on a website, but it was at full price, which was insane. But it has matching pants or it has a matching skirt. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so freaking cute. What the fuck? Why didn't you get it? But I'm like, it also doesn't have the bottoms. And I'm like, would I want it without the bottoms? But then I'm like, well, I could get the top on sale and I could get the bottoms here on this website where I'm seeing them for full price, but it would kind of like work out. Like, I really enjoyed it. It's like really kind of spunky. Again, it's like tan, but then it has just like some sort of print in like muted, what's the word? Pastels, like very muted pastels, but it's like so cute. I literally was like losing my mind on my laptop trying to find it, trying to Google, and I was so mad at myself that I let it go. But I still was kind of back and forth because I was like, am I really going to buy the bottoms at full price because they are absurdly expensive? Whatever. The jacket, like, I don't know. Again, this is what I do with any purchase. I want to look at reviews and I want to see other people wearing it. That way I'm like, okay, could I style this? Like, would I actually wear this? I don't know. I just like need affirmations that it's something that I want or need. I couldn't find the jacket either. And I'm like, whatever. The jacket, I was like, sometimes I buy jackets and then they go to waste because I never freaking wear them. Well, we wake up and I tell Carter because there's a men's section and I didn't know if the men's was on sale. I mean, of course, like if they're having a sale, I imagine, but I didn't really look because I was looking for myself. I'm like, Carter, actually in the future, you would really love this store because it has all of his favorite like nice t-shirt brands or like polo brands and with his new job. And he was like, why don't we go there? So on Sunday, we go back to this store. Wait, let me backtrack for 1 second. We wake up and I so badly, because on our walk the day before, we didn't get coffee. And that is like the highlight of my week, going on a walk with Carter and then going to get a coffee. And we walk over and get coffee, and then the store was on the way, and we went and got coffee at like probably 10:30, but the store didn't open till noon because it's Sunday. But then we were hungry and we stopped at a little restaurant and we ate, and then we eat so fast that I think we were still done before noon, but we waited. May, can you please go lay down, sweetie? It is 4:14 p.m. on Wednesday and she eats at 5. Carter just had to run out. He went to the bank and she is losing her mind. Anywho, okay. We then wait until noon and we go in and Carter looks around, and I told him obviously about the psychosis I was in the night before when he was at the movies, because I'm like thinking about the t-shirt and this and that. And Carter is like always telling me to buy the thing. He's like, get it. The mall experience today. He's like, babe, buy something. He's like, let's go into here. Let's go into here. And I'm like, no. And then I pick something up, or he'll pick something up. He's like, what about this? And I'm like, no. And he's like, babe, buy something, because he knows of the illness that I have. Well, we go out to the sales rack, and actually he found a vest, and then he found another vest that wasn't on sale but was a great price, and got them because fall is coming. And that vest over like a polo or a long sleeve look, it's so good. And last year he got, I think I probably told you guys, we got these vests from J. Crew, I think is what it was, or where they were from. And they are vests that are like quilt and a little bit thicker, like an actual kind of, not an actual outdoorsy vest, but like they're thick. These are lighter and he can wear them indoors. I mean, it's still like a vest is for fall time, but they're more like, one of them was almost like a t-shirt material, just like a nice layering piece. And then the other one was like a heathered gray. It almost looked like a Patagonia that he got, which were great purchases. And the one was like mega on sale. I actually think it was originally like $500. It was Peter Millar, which we love Peter Millar. It's such nice stuff. And it was like 100, maybe 115. And it was perfect. I love heathered gray. That's like my favorite color. But anyways, we go into the sales rack. I didn't find the jacket, but I found the t-shirt. And I'm like, babe, look at this. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, I know, but I'm still having the thought process. I'm like, let me show you. And then also like the bottoms. Well, I go through the clothing rack, and actually I'm pretty typically a size 6, like in dresses, my Zara jeans, I would say maybe 6 to an 8, but I feel like a 6 is where I'm at. I'm like a waist 28, 29. I'm like the most medium of medium sizes. And I think like typically just from size charts, like when you look at a medium, it's like 6 to 8 or 4 to 6 sometimes. Anywho, I'm a 6. Well, the top, and this happens for me, which is so funny because I have no tits, but I have like thicker thighs, I would say. I oftentimes can get a small in tops, like for example, a bathing suit. Like oftentimes, because I have no tits, I can get like a smaller size, and then I'll be like the next size up on the bottoms, whether it's like a medium, large, or a small. But like the top, May, please, can you chill? Do you want to sit next to me? Here. Like I literally, you're so distracting. Just lay down, okay? And you'll eat at 5. Anywho, again, the echoing and like her little claws, I don't think you can hear it, but it's driving me insane. We can both fit here, sweetheart. I know, and I will feed you. Well, the top is a 4. And of course it has like, I think the brand is Australian. No, I don't think, I know, because I'm an insane person, because I was Googling everything about the company. It had like, I think Australia 10, but it was a US 4. And I'm like, that's another thing. Even though like it fit, I'm like, should I get a 4? Like, I feel like I'm at typically a 6, but it fit. Well, I'm going through the racks and I find the matching pants. I find the pants and I'm like, no way. Like because I didn't know that that even existed the day before. Like I didn't know it had matching bottoms. I didn't even look and I didn't come across them. And like the sales rack was kind of chaotic and that just stresses me out. Well, I find the pants, but they're a size 10. Right? Like a US size 10. I'm typically a 6. I'm like, okay, let me go try these on. Like maybe Carter was like, you can take them to the tailor. They won't be that big. We go in and I put the top and the bottom and Carter's like, that's incredible. But y'all, the bottoms were insanely large, but they were on sale. Right? Like both of these items were a hefty price at the beginning and now they're like a decent price. Like still kind of on the, I don't care, whatever. I don't need to get into the price. I'm like, is it too big? Like I personally have never tailored clothes. I've never done that. And actually I'm now rewiring my brain and I'm like, Brenna, you actually need to do that. And I've heard people say it, but it's like, again, I always say like rich people things. It's such a rich people thing to like go tailor your clothes. Like, I don't know. And it's not really an expensive thing. But here's also my thought process. Like, I'm not going to buy something from Forever 21. Not that I shop there anymore, but like, I'm not going to tailor something that's like $20 because at that point it's going to be more. And like, that's a cheap item. Like if you get a nice item that's a decent price, a costly price, it makes sense to get it tailored. In my opinion, that makes more sense. I don't know. Carter convinced me to get the set. I'm like, am I going to wear this even? It's like kind of, especially with the matching bottoms, it's not crazy out there, but it's out there. Like it's a spunky outfit, but I love that. Like when going through those magazines of people on the red carpet, like the nanny family would always get all of the magazines with the fashion. If I was a person of status and I had a designer, I would be the person wearing the craziest shit. Like I don't care, right? I'm fine to like wear something a little bit unique. Not that I do, but it's only because I hate shopping and I never leave my house. But because I go to like influencer events and I am really, if you guys have been seeing on my TikTok and my Instagram, I really want to start putting outfits together. Looking put together is what I was going to say, because I'm 28 years old. And the nice thing about me is that I don't give a shit. I can leave the house looking like dog shit, but that doesn't mean I should. I just feel like, especially when I think about being a mom, which I don't know how near into my future that is, but like also because I'm in these bougie neighborhoods, like where we're living is like in a nice neighborhood. I see all of these people in their nice cars, which like that doesn't like really bother me that much. But like I love seeing moms and I just love seeing girls put together. Like I'm always in awe. Like when I'm at a coffee shop and a girl has a cute outfit, I'm like, oh, I want to be you. It's like, bitch, you can be. Just like put in a little bit of effort. Right? I'm just not used to it. I feel like it's a muscle. Like today I was like, again, I go to my head and I'm like, I don't need to look nice to go to the mall. Like who gives a shit? But I'm like, Brenna, no, just do it. Like make it a habit to put on something. I just wore my effortless pants, my little strapless tube top and a belt. And it's like so cute. And I'm like, I look put together. How fun. Did it change my day? I don't know. Again, then I'm like, what was the reason? I need to get out of, again, strain the muscle. I kind of just glitched. Glitched. Work out the muscle. Like I just need to exercise that and just like get used to it. And I also feel like it will help me because on the days when like I am going to an event and I need to put an outfit together, I never do that. And I don't even know where to start. But if I'm wearing a cute outfit every day, I can kind of like mix and match. And like, I can just kind of figure out my style and what I like. And then when we have an event, I'm like, oh, I'll wear that outfit that I wore that one day. You know what I mean? Anywho, I get this set, and the very next day, because it was Sunday, all of the tailors were closed. We went to this tailor, and it's going to take 2 weeks. But I was Googling, I'm like, can you take something in like multiple sizes? And they're saying, of course, because it's way better to be bigger than smaller. And I went there and they had no problem. They tightened the waist. And then like the thigh area was big just because naturally it was big. And then she like pinched it on the sides, did the little marks. And next Friday, a week from today, I'm going to go in and hopefully they're perfection. And I'm so excited. It's such a fun, cute outfit. And I love the brand and the quality is so good. Brenna, shut the fuck up. You repeat yourself so much. I just want to start getting nice pieces. Like I got this set, and a couple of weeks ago, I haven't talked about this, I got a gift. I got a top that is I love the brand. I love everything they put out, but it is an expensive, nice brand, but it's a white top. You will see it soon. Just know it was a gift. I didn't buy it, and it's incredible. But I have them, like I have the 2 tops now, like the nicest tops I own, on like one side of my closet. I'm like, I'm gonna start just filling my closet with good pieces. I would even consider Aritzia good, like my Effortless pants, like those are good quality. I love my Effortless pants and I need to get more. But anywho, that was Sunday. I think that was it. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, last night, actually, we went to one of the partners' houses that this guy was who Carter was under when he was a summer associate, when he was doing litigation, and when he started at his current firm, or his last firm, I guess now to speak, he was under this guy, and then he switched over to the transactional real estate side and wasn't. But back in the day, we went to their house once before, and I've met him and his wife like quite a few times at this point. They have 2 little girls and they're great. I love them both. But in the recent year, because Carter's basically been on this other team, we haven't really seen them, and he's actually had some health issues, but he invited us over because obviously he works under the managing partner at the firm, and the managing partner is the one, like Carter went to him to tell him that he was leaving. Obviously he went to his team and so on and so forth, but like he has to tell him and send him the formal resignation, and those 2 are a team. So it's this guy, and then he's under the managing partner, but he's also a partner. Well, when Carter told the managing partner, he immediately called, because they're talking all of the time because they're constantly working on things, but he called him immediately and told him, and then he called Carter and was like, oh my gosh, you're leaving. Like, just know, like, you can always come back here. Everybody has been amazing. Like, everybody's like, you can come back. Like, we love you so much. Everybody has nothing but great things to say about you. Everybody's so sad. And he told us this last night, which we were getting so much hot gossip. I can't even. But he told us that like the headquarters, or like maybe it was the managing partner, they asked him, this partner that we were with, like if he wants to try and like offer him the same thing that he's getting at the new firm and be like, will you stay? Like, we'll match. Like, they wanted him to stay so badly, but this guy knew that even still Carter wouldn't stay, and he was like, no, like let's let him go. He can always come back. Like, everybody just thinks so highly of Carter because he's amazing. He's so smart. He's so talented. He looks for work. He's like just the best. I mean, he's just amazing. But we had dinner at their house. He made steaks. He made like cream corn, sweet potatoes, fried rice. It was amazing. It was like the most delicious meal, and the little girls were there, their daughters, and it was so nice. We left here at 3:30. I know I said this on my story, and we got back at like 10. We didn't leave until 9 or 9:30. We were just like hanging out, chatting. It was amazing to see them. I love that. Let me think what else I have to tell you. And when I say let me think, I have to look at my notes app. We are going, this is literally probably why you guys are all listening. I know a lot of you have messaged me on Instagram being like, bitch, what is going on? Ow! Obviously, because also last week, I'm like, we might get married next week. We're going to Vegas. If anybody saw this coming, please tell me, because I didn't. And let me explain how we got here. I told you last week, we didn't know when Carter was going to be done. We didn't know what the situation was, how much time. And Carter has a trip next week that's already been planned. We were hoping that he would be done at his current firm. And technically, he hasn't been working, but technically, his last day is Friday. And he didn't want to leave town because obviously he's trying to end on a good note and be respectful. And he's got to turn in his stuff tomorrow. And he has like a little exit thing in the morning. And that left us with like, we could take a flight Thursday afternoon to Monday. Like he's leaving on Monday, but you know, for this other trip. And we still were thinking the tropics. Well, we looked at Costa Rica, we looked at Turks, we looked at all of the direct places, which actually there aren't that many direct right now because I think it's hurricane season. And also with hurricane season, we were looking at these places, the weather, and there's just like tropical storms. And of course, I know in a lot of these places, like it can storm for like the morning and then be totally fine. But every single day in Costa Rica, it showed rain. And then we looked at Turks and it's like storm this or like hurricane this. And we're like, what? Right? Like we're not doing that. And the cost now, because it was a week in advance, it was just astronomical, and it was only for like 3 days, and we were like, oh, okay, if it's gonna be raining the whole time, like no. Then we were like, what do we want to do? Like, what's just something we don't need to elope? Like, what do we want to do? We've talked about going to Vegas a ton. We've talked about going with our friends. We're definitely still going to do that. But we've also been talking about it because there's just so much to do there. And it seems random. I think if you were a listener or just a friend of ours, it's like we don't drink. We're not like Vegas people, but Vegas has so much to offer. It has good food, concerts. The Backstreet Boys are there. The Cirque du Soleil, all of the shows and so on and so forth. And you know, Carter doesn't gamble, but like if he's put in a position, like when he did the real estate thing in Houston, they went and gambled. Like he would never sports bet. He would never go out of his way to go to the casinos close to here. But like if he's in a place where there's gambling or with friends, like he'll play a little blackjack, right? And he loves that. On his phone, he plays like poker, not with any money or anything, just like literally on an app. And obviously there's gambling and there's the pools and it's just like a fun spot. We've been talking about going there and we've been talking about going to DC. And first we were like, let's go to DC. But Carter's like, you kind of need a lot of days, even though everything's right there. He's like, there's so many museums because I've never been, but he went as a kid and he loves history. And I would love to just like see the White House and go to the museums. Like I love walking and just like doing activities, exploring. And we were looking at flights, we were looking at stays, and he was like, okay, if we fly in Thursday night, we have Friday, Saturday, but then we need to come back. Like he was like, I don't know. And it's in the opposite direction because he's going to California. And I'm not sure. I kind of, if I'm remembering correctly, was like, let's go to Vegas. Because we've been talking about it, even though it's kind of primarily been like talking about it with our friends, we've also talked about just going there. And Carter and I have never been on a trip. Besides, we went to Hawaii, but we went to Hawaii with his whole entire family. I'm talking just the two of us. We did do the road trip, obviously. But other than that, we've just gone to his hometown in San Diego and we've been to North Dakota. Like we haven't done any trip, and we still want to do like a tropical elopement, but we just need to see what his life looks like. We have quite literally no idea how busy he's going to be, like how he manages it. It won't be until a few months where you get in the groove. Like number one, he's going to be like training and starting for like the first month. And it won't be until like months 2, 3, 4, where he like really understands like on the weekends, like how busy is he and how can he delegate? And therefore that's going to be, he's starting the end of August, September, October, November. We were thinking January, like we won't even know like how this really goes until December. Once we have a pretty good idea, we're not going to book something right then for January because he's still also going to probably be busy. Like the one thing we can be sure of, and last night the partner, because this guy's a partner, but he's still rather young. Like he's in his 30s, but because the firm that Carter was at before was a 100 law or big 100 law, a top 100 law firm. It's big, but it's on the smaller end. And because of that, this guy has been there for a while and he was able to make partner quicker. Like I think typically you make partner roughly around years 9, 10 is what I'm gathering just from conversations I've heard. Obviously, I think it differs just based on where you are. Again, if you're at a small firm, you can move up quicker. If you're at a big firm, it's probably going to take longer. Well, this guy was kind of talking about, which I don't think it's anything that Carter doesn't know, but he's like, dude, your life is about to change. Like you are a small fish in a big pond. You are like, I think Carter's going to be the only entry level associate on this team, which means he's going to get so much work. Like there are a ton of partners, and he's like, just know it's going to be very different, especially because Carter hasn't had any work at his current firm. But like, besides that, it's just going to be wild. And we're so excited because we want him to get experience. He's at a huge firm. Like it's going to look great. And that's what this guy was saying last night too. He's like, the fact that you're going to have this like next to your name on your resume, he's like, stick it out there for sure. He's like, you're the most marketable between like years 3 and 5. And that's when you kind of make the transition if you want to leave. Because this is what happens. Most people go to a big firm. It's kind of like not obviously the same, but a residency as a doctor, like you get in, you do the grunt work. I mean, he's still making great money. It's not like residency in that way. But then you leave at year 3 or 5, maybe go to a smaller one and then make partner, and then hello, that's your life. Well, Carter doesn't even, it was funny because we were sitting there at the dinner table and this guy was saying this, and he's like, because Carter was like, I kind of want to stick at this firm for like X amount of years and then see what I want to do. And he was like, well, you know, your most marketable is in between 3 and 5. You might not want to wait that long. And I'm like, well, Carter doesn't even want to be a partner. Right. And like, I asked him across the table, and like, it's not this big secret that Carter doesn't want to be an attorney for forever. I'm pretty sure this guy knew, but we were driving home and I was like, I never thought about you. Like you hear it in movies and shows, like he's made partner, like there's always a character if there's a lawyer or at an accounting firm maybe, or other jobs where it's like you're like really grinding that way you can make partner. Because when you make partner, if you don't know, which I'm not sure, I didn't know anything about this before. And that's why also I've never thought about like when Carter becomes partner, because number one, I haven't been anticipating that he's going to be an attorney forever, but maybe he is. I mean, we're just going to see how it goes. And maybe he wants to do this. I just don't think that he does. But I'm like, that'll be like a huge moment. I mean, that'll be like essentially 9 years from now, like making partner, which this guy was also saying, it's not all that it's cracked out to be, because basically being partner is like, kind of like being a business owner. Like now you're a partner of the firm. You're like one of the top people, and it's like profit sharing, and like you're no longer an employee. Like you're not on a salary, right? Like you know, you have your billable rate and you get your commission on like the clients that you bring in. It's a whole thing. Anywho, how did we get here? We don't know what Carter's life is going to look like. And we're like, let's just go on a trip. We don't have that much time, unfortunately. It just kind of is what it is. But like, that's why also Vegas, like 3 days in Vegas is perfect. Like you don't want to be there any longer, but it's something fun for us. And we set up, okay, we finally were like, let's just pull the trigger. Let's get the flights. Let's book it. Let's do it. We're staying, maybe I shouldn't tell you, but obviously I trust you guys. We're staying at the Encore, which is like, I think the nicest. Carter's telling me it's the nicest. I don't really know. I've only been to Vegas. I've only been to Vegas once, and we stayed at the cheapest place. It was like Tropicana. I don't know. My cousin booked it. But the Encore. It's a part of the Win. It's like the newer one. We booked. Then we booked a Cirque du Soleil show. Carter booked, I think, a magic show. And then I think we have another night that we haven't accounted for tomorrow because we weren't sure how we were going to feel. And then we booked a few nice dinners. We booked a Win brunch for one of the mornings. We booked dinners before the shows. Actually, Carter did it all, which I love. I'm like, babe, just let me shut my brain off. Take care of it, which afterwards he's forwarded me all of the emails and the reservations. He's like, can you please like put this in your calendar, because he hates that shit. I'm like, the fact that you just like booked it and did it all. He's like, okay, we got a sushi spot because you love sushi, and we've got this because this is really good, and it's all taken care of, and I'm so excited. Therefore, by the time you guys are listening, we're leaving Thursday afternoon. We'll get in, because of the time change, we leave here at 1:45. I think we get in at like 2, maybe a little after 2. We're going to go and check in, and then we're going to kind of just see how we're feeling. Do we need a nap? Like, I was scared to book stuff because I wasn't sure how we're going to feel. And then Friday, I'm not sure if that's when he booked the breakfast. One of the days we have it open for lunch, breakfast, and then we have a show, or dinner and a show, and then I'm coming back Sunday, and Carter's just flying. He changed his flight. He's going on Sunday, and he'll fly to California, which is like so close. And Maydog is being watched by my best friend Natalie and Ryan, and that's what we're doing. We're going to Vegas. Woo! Anywho, that is the update. Oh my God, you guys, I want to get through. I think I have a Google form question that one of you left. Also, I'm reading Tell Me Lies by Carolina something. It is so reminiscent of my college experience. I can't even tell you. I think it's a romance. It's kind of like, I found it in the fiction aisle, but it's like kind of romance, but kind of just like chaos. But this girl basically is dating a guy who's like a fucking douchebag. And she also is like going through an eating disorder. And like, it's very reminiscent of like literally, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like thinking back to like college and the parties and like restricting my food, because that's when it was my freshman year. I got so skinny because I was like dating this guy who's like so toxic, even though there's like cheating involved in this, a lot of it from the guy, like that never happened in mine, but like it was very much like he didn't give a shit. Anywho, I was like, whoa, I didn't mean to like reread my past, but I'm loving the book. I'm about halfway through. I'll probably bring it with me to Vegas, obviously, even though I won't read during the nighttime. But let me get into this little question, and then we're going to wrap it up. Brenna, I need help. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 2 years now. We're both 22 and live together. We talk about marriage and are planning for that in the next year. He's overall the love of my life. He respects me, cherishes me, provides for me. But I feel like our sex life is lacking. I do find him very attractive, but he's so vanilla. Literally, I don't remember the last time I came. No, sister, no. I low-key voiced this to him, but things only changed for like one time. I'm not saying I need him to become some sex devil or whatever, but use the vibrator on me without having to beg. Totally. I don't know. It's just like our sex is the same every time. Prior to him, I was with my ex for 3 years, and he was my first love, but he was as pretty freaky, or he was pretty, I think she didn't mean the ass. He was pretty freaky, and I got used to it. And on top of these sex concerns, I'm not sure why, but for the past couple of months, I've been thinking about my ex more. Oh no. And I don't know if it's like I actually miss him or I'm just sexually frustrated. Like if I think back to my time with my ex, it's easy to outweigh the bad with how young and in love we were. Yes. It was a wild time. I literally was obsessed with him, but he broke up with me. And then of course, a year later, he finally comes back and wants me, but I had just met my current boyfriend and I had to pick between them. Oof, it was so hard. I don't know. I feel like the first loves are an absolute fucking curse. I wish it would just disappear off my mind. Okay, so what would you do, Brenna? And why do I feel like this? Thanks, Queen. Okay. Totally normal. I think we've all been here at some point in our life in different variations. I would keep expressing to your current partner the sex thing. Like, talk about what you want, make sure you're getting taken care of. I mean, I feel like he should want to, but I understand like guys are so clueless and they don't know, and you just need to speak up. And I think that the reason you're thinking of the ex is probably because also that was a hard time. Like, he broke up, and also I feel like that's never going to be a good thing. You guys were young. Yeah, he came back because he probably missed you. In the same, like, you think you miss this person, but it's like clearly there was a reason for the breakup. Like, I don't think that's like, let go of that, right? You have a wonderful boyfriend. I think you are sexually frustrated, and you just need to express to him, like, use the vibe. And it might just take a few reminders, but like, or maybe sit him down, not in the moment. I would say speak up in the moment, like when you guys are having sex, but also like maybe have a separate conversation. I know it's scary and daunting. You're 22, like communication is hard. My camera just died. Let's quickly wrap this up. I think the first thing is that sex is important, and you need to feel intimate, and you need to be taken care of, because at that point, it's not only like physical neglect, it's like emotional. Like, that's a big part of a relationship, and therefore a conversation needs to be had. As far as the ex goes, I know I kind of touched on this, but I want to make sure I wrap it all together. You were just heightening and romanticizing that relationship. There were other things that were not good. Like you said, you were really young, and I think this like sexual, especially when it's like the sexual currently is lacking and that was good in the last relationship, it like heightens like that, but you love your partner and you guys are talking about marriage and everything else is good. I think don't let that fool you and think like, I want that person back. Again, you're human. All of these feelings are like natural and normal, but like our brains really do this when we're like lacking clarity. We're just trying to like grab onto something. I think what you need to do is like sit down with your current partner and just express, because I think men also, or people in general, think that like physical is just physical, but it also turns into like physical intimacy and emotional intimacy. Like, intimacy is important, and I think they all tie together, if that makes sense. And I think you just explained like, it makes me feel like not wanted, and maybe you're not feeling that, but whatever it is, like it then triggers a bunch of other feelings. It's like, he doesn't care about me, like I'm not taken care of. And the other reality is, and like, you don't need to threaten or anything, but sex is a big part of a relationship. It's just like communication is, it's just like trust is. Like, a relationship is like all of these things together, and like your needs are your needs. Like, you need to have this physical intimacy and be taken care of and like enjoy sex. Like, that is a very important part of a relationship. And it's like, if this were to stay the same, like if nothing were to change, like, can you stay in this relationship? Like, I don't think that you should, if it's like literally something that you need, because some people are fine with vanilla. Like, everybody's thing is different, but it's like, you personally, like, this is something that you need. It needs to change. And again, don't threaten, but I think you just need to have like a real sit down and be like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I love you so much. And maybe you have no idea, and you probably have no idea, but like, I haven't come, and like, grab the vibrator. And again, if he needs reminders, whatever. But again, I would talk about the deeper, like, it makes me feel this, this, and this. But I just want to like reiterate, the ex thoughts I think are just heightened, and we always like nostalgia and like that always romanticizes the past. Like, in any situation, whether it's relationship, with a friendship, like, we always look back when we're not in something at the good, right? There was bad. Like, that man broke up with you, who knows, out of nowhere. I don't have the contacts, but it's like, that also happened. Like, there was also probably not good things, but we don't think about that. And I think it just goes hand in hand. Like, of course, in a moment with your current partner, like, you're gonna look back and like, that was good. Again, normal, healthy, it'll pass right over. I think you just need to figure this out with your current partner and things will be great. But don't feel bad. Like, that's such a normal thing. I had a best friend who broke up with like a very long-term boyfriend one time and then got into a relationship quickly after. And it was like a year maybe 2 years into the current relationship, she called me. She was like crying one day, like sad about the past relationship. And I think she just like didn't have time to grieve it. And it's like, it had nothing to do with her current partner. I think like it just kind of hit her. Again, like these things are weird. We're human, but I would just sit down with your current partner and say, hey, this is where I'm at. Like, I need this. Like, this is a non-negotiable for me. Like, I can't have this sex for the rest of my life. And I need you to like care, right? Like, it's a deeper meaning as well. And I think you'll be good to go. I literally, when my camera died, I needed it to charge. I went downstairs and Carter had gotten back from the bank. He has money for the casinos. We talked about last night. I know this is like totally random. I'm just jumping over here because I'm currently thinking about it. We were sitting on the couch and we started talking about gambling because he does want to play blackjack. And I was like, how much? Because my thoughts are we need to have a set number and we need to take the money out because this is how gambling works. This is how people get into insane debt, which wouldn't happen to us, but it's like, you're doing good and then you just hop over to the ATM and get more money. I'm like, I think that we should go with an X number of money, right? Like a certain dollar amount. You do a certain, like I was breaking it up into days. I'm like, okay, so Friday you have this much, Saturday you have this much, or Thursday you have this much, Friday, Saturday, like 3 days. There's like a number that I had in my head and he's like, what's your number? And I'm like, no, I'm not saying because I was giving him a decent amount and then he had a number and mine was actually more. And I was like, oh, I was going to say this. Tell me why. I go downstairs and he has exactly the number that I said. Like we didn't really finalize it. And again, like I don't care. And a little extra that way for other things. I don't know, a taxi. You never know when you're going to need cash. But I'm dying. He was sitting there. He's like pointing at the money. But anyways, you guys, we're going to be in Vegas. I'm so excited to tell you all about it when we get back. I can't even imagine. Like Vegas is a crazy place. The best part, the people watching. Like I cannot wait to see the people. I'm dead. The Backstreet Boys are playing at the Sphere, but the cheapest tickets, you guys, were like $600 something. Like I love the Backstreet Boys just like anybody else, but like $1,300 for me and Carter. And like Carter doesn't care that much. Like he would go, but I'm like, if we're going to spend that much money on something, like I want us both to love it. Now, if it was like Natalie, like somebody who enjoys them, like I could maybe make it make sense. But I was like, I don't think we should do that. But anyways, you guys, I hope you have the best weekend. I hope you had the best week. Thank you so much for being here as always. And I will see you on Monday. Okay. Bye, guys.